All right, hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be playing around with some masks, and we are going to let me turn on some highlights here. There we go. All right, we're playing with masks today. Masks are these invisible layers that we can add on to our layers, and they help to conceal and reveal things. They only react to black and white, and we're trying to kind of understand this. So we're going to put these to some applicable things, okay? So today we're going to pop over here to Photoshop. This is what we're going to make today. We're going to make this hand holding a light bulb. We're going to try to make this light bulb look like it's kind of got like an electric jellyfish in it that's generating the light. So that's what we're making today. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to go ahead and say we want to make a new file. That new file we are going to be making is going to be an 8 by 10 by 300. It's going to be horizontal. We're going to call this Jellyfish Light Bulb. And your name. Okay, make sure you're at 300 DPI, and then you're going to go ahead and create that. Now, once you create that, we're going to hit Command Tab. We're going to bounce back over here to Google Chrome. We're going to have to go into our images here. We need a few things in images. Okay. In images, we are going to need this hand. Okay, so we're going to right click, copy that image, Command Tab, go back to Photoshop, Command V. We're going to paste that in there. Then we're going to hit Command Tab again, and we're going to go back. And we are going to get this light bulb. Right click, two bunny ears, copy that. Command Tab, go to Photoshop, Command V, paste that in. And then we're going to go back and get the last part, which is going to be this jellyfish here. Okay, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to say copy image, then Command Tab one last time, and we're going to do Command V. Okay, so I've got my jellyfish here. Jellyfish. I've got my light bulb. And I've got my hand. So I'm going to label those. You don't have to if you don't want to. I like to keep things organized. Okay. All right, so let's get these in the right order. Okay, so the hand is down here on the bottom. It is going to be holding that. The jellyfish is going to be all the way at the bottom. Okay. The light bulb is going to be above that, and the hand, which we can't see, there it is going to be over top of everything, kind of at the very top, because it's going to overlap that. Okay. Now, right now, we need to kind of get these things sized up. Okay. So I'm going to take the hand here, and I'm going to kind of position it about like that, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit like that. Okay. And I'm just about halfway up because I want the other half kind of show that light bulb there. Okay, I'll go ahead and hit that, commit that, and I'll go ahead and go to File, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and save this to your computer, to your Cookie Fingers folder, and your Google Drive, My Drive. Go to your Cookie Fingers, and then save that to the appropriate place. Okay, I've already got it saved, so I'm going to skip that part. Okay, I need a mask on this. Okay, so I want you to remember that you can make a mask from a selection, you can make a selection from a mask, right? So let's start with a selection. I'm going to start with my smartest tool, which is my object selection tool. I'm going to make sure I'm selected on the hand. I'm going to go over top of this, and I can see really good contrast here, and I'm going to go ahead and click that. Give it a second, and looks like it's got a good selection. I'm getting a lasso tool. I'm going to zoom in here and just kind of look. And I am looking really close here, and I'm just kind of walking around the edge visually, and I don't really see any problems other than I'm a little bit off. Command Z here on the edge. So I'll lower that down here in a second. Okay, but right now, I am going to go ahead and make a mask. Now the mask is right down here. It's this little button right down here. It says layer mask. And I'll click that one time. It's going to make a layer mask. So I'll see this new layer here that's black and white. And you can see everything that's black is now masked out, and it is hiding everything except for the part that is white, which is the hand. And if you hold down your option, you can click in there and you can actually see the mask. Okay. And if you click back over here, you will see this. Okay. You do notice you can select the mask or the layer. So that is important. So if things look like they're not doing what they're supposed to, make sure you're on the layer and not the layer mask, and you're on the right layer. Okay. So we got that. Now let's go ahead and get to our light bulb. Now I'm going to take the light bulb. Okay, let's go ahead and move our hand here first. I've got that little bit here, and then I'm going to go ahead and move that. Okay, you saw that these have this little link in here, so when I move the layer mask comes in with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on my light bulb here. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here. So I can see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my object selection tool. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to select that while it's at. And again, I have really good contrast. It's just on a white background. So I'm going to click one time. I'm going to get my lasso tool and I'm going to zoom in, kind of visually walk around the edge again. And everything looks perfect. If I was going to be really nitpicky, this little tip here is not in there, but that's going to be inside of the hand. We won't even see that, so I'm not going to worry about it. So we got a perfect selection. I don't need to make any adjustments, but you need to look at yours and make sure you're the same, okay? We're going to go ahead and make a mask on this now. I'm going to go down here to my mask. I'm going to click one time, make a mask. Now I've got the light bulb masked out, okay? So we're going to get our move tool by hitting V, and then I'm just going to go ahead and place this into the hand, okay? I'll hit Command 0 so I can kind of zoom out, see my composition. I'm going to tilt this slightest bit here, like that. Maybe I'll make my light bulb just a little bit bigger, like that. Okay, groovy. Okay, now last part, I'm going to get my jellyfish. Okay, now the jellyfish, I want it to look like it's inside of that light bulb. Okay, so right now it's too big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and position it now. To do that, I'm going to click on this light bulb layer, and I'm actually going to take the opacity down about 50% so I can see through it. Okay, now I'm going to click on the jellyfish layer. Just going to make this jellyfish small enough that it's going to fit into this light bulb here. Okay, rotate my jellyfish here just a little bit. I want him to be pretty small inside of there. I want him to kind of fit in there and have a little room to swim around. All right, so I got that. I'm happy with position on that. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to turn the opacity of this back up to 100%, and then I will go to File and Save, or hit Command S again. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and adjust this mask so I can see through it. What I want to do is I want to be able to see through all of this so I can see just the jellyfish inside. Okay, but first I want to kind of clip this out here. Now remember, you can make a mask from a selection. You can make a selection from the mask. Okay, I already have the shape of my light bulb in the right place. Okay, if I hold down my Command key, I can make a selection from that mask. Okay. And I'm going to click on the jellyfish layer, and I'm going to create a new mask with that selection, and it's going to mask that out. So now I'm all set up to start adjusting and making this light in here, okay? And I've just got my background poked out for right now, okay? Turn that back on either way. We're going to change that here in a minute, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a brush. Now remember, a mask reacts to black and white, okay? I've got a gigantic brush, so I'm going to make that smaller. Okay, now I'm going to hit D on my keyboard to get my default black and white, so I have my foreground and background black and white color. I'm going to click on the layer, not of the jellyfish, but the light bulb, because the light bulb is what I need to make opaque so I can see through it here, okay? Now, you can see that everything that is white I can see, everything that is black I can't. So I need to switch by hitting X and get my black as my foreground color. Make sure I'm on the layer mask. And I'm going to click and just drag, and I'm going to start painting out that light bulb so that I see our little jellyfish in there. Spectacular. And I just have a nice soft brush here. The brush that I have is this soft round opacity brush. Okay, so that's the one I am using. Okay, I also have my little Wacom tablet here, and I'm just using my stylus because it makes things a little bit easier. And I'm trying to paint out the filament and everything in this old incandescent bulb here so we see our jellyfish, okay? And I want it to have soft edges, so I'm using a soft brush. I'm just taking my time here, kind of kissing this around like this, right? I don't want to go so far to the edge, okay? Now what I don't want to do, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, is this and get a really hard edge brush. And in order to make this work, I need to get a soft brush. So I don't want to do this one, Command Z. get on the right layer, but I don't want to do this where I have this hard edge brush because it just doesn't look believable. I need that kind of soft edge to blend it in. So again, Command Z, I'm going to make sure that I have a soft edge brush, okay? I'm using this soft round pressure one with my Wacom tablet. So again, I just kind of scrub in there until I get the effect I want. If I go a little bit bigger, it's kind of easier to get those edges there where I want. But take your time. If it doesn't look what you want, well, then you can always go back the other way by adding white to it. And I'll show that example right now. Now I went all the way down, kind of got it where I want. Groovy, okay? Now, when I zoom in down here, I see that I kind of painted too much, right? So I am going to make my brush smaller, okay? And I'm going to go get a hard brush here. I want a hard edge brush here. Let's get one that works with my Wacom tablet. Make this much smaller here. And I'm going to switch to white now because I want to paint back this little bit of what I went into, right? So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to take and I'm going to start painting white, and it's going to paint back the area I accidentally painted away because I want this screw head to look like a hard edge right there, okay? And if you want to see your mask, remember, you can always hold down your Option key and click on your mask, and you can see what you've made, okay? So that is what I'm making on my mask. Groovy. Okay, and it looks like I can see through that. Okay, now let's go back and look at our example here real quick again. Now in this one, kind of looks like this is kind of almost like electric, so we want to kind of get that effect. Okay, and I also have this kind of blue light behind her, and I've got a different contrast on my hand here. Okay, so I am going to, let me get back on my jellyfish. Okay, on here, let's start with first, let's make our jellyfish kind of electric here. To do that, I am going to change the blending layer. So I'm just going to click on here, and up here is our blending layers. Remember, they're super easy. All you have to do is hold over top of it, and they're going to do all kinds of different things, and you can check it out by just holding over and saying, okay? Now, the one I landed on was this linear light. It kind of has this really nice effect to it there. And if it's too much, you could turn it down a little bit. I think I'll turn it down to just a little bit, to about 90% there, like that. That's good. Hit Command S, okay? Now, I would like to make a gradient, and I'd like to put that behind that. So I'm going to click the layer, okay? And I'm going to put it everywhere behind here. So I'm going to get my gradient tool. There's my gradient tool, okay? And I am going to make a gradient, okay? Now in this case, I want to make a, not a linear gradient that's left to right, as in this, or up and down, or left to right like this. I want it to be from the center out, so I'm going to use a radial gradient. Up here in my control panel, I can go ahead and I'll click on the radial, and it gives me a radial gradient, okay? Now you can see that I can have my gradient tool, and I can grab the center. I'm going to center it right on my guy right here, okay? Now I have a custom gradient that is the right color. How do you get that, okay? Well, to do that, let's go ahead and adjust this, okay? If you go up here to your gradients tab, okay, and if yours is not looking exactly the same, remember you can pull this all the way out, so grab the corner and pull it out and go to the very first one. Okay, basics. If you click on the very first one, basics there, it's going to give you your basic gradient, which is always your foreground and background colors here, okay? So let's reverse this. So I've got the white here and I've got the dark here, okay? Now, I am going to reverse this black and white. I want the light on the outside, and specifically, I would like to have a specific color, okay? So to do that, I am going to click on the white here, and I can double click here, and I'm going to make it a blue color here that's going to match with my guy here, my little guy, okay? And on the inside, I'm going to double click on this one, and I'm going to get a light color, and specifically I'm going to sample. You see I can just sample. I'll sample that light color in there. It's almost like kind of a really faint purple, and go inside there like that, okay? Now, on my, it's also over here, the same thing. You can do the same thing. Again, you can double click right here and grab it. Again, I think I'll change my outside color, right? And I can sample those colors in there just like that and say, okay. And I'm going to double click on this one here and I'm going to select the darkest blue that's in there and say, okay, like that. Okay. I think I want this one to be a little bit lighter. I'm going to go one more time here. And I want that to be a little bit lighter, like that. That looks a little bit more electric there. Maybe even just a little bit more. Okie dokie, I like the look of that. That's looking pretty groovy, okay? I can also use my gradient tool here if I wanted to adjust the break or wear this out or how far out this goes. All I need to do is grab my gradient tool. I'm gonna let it break the plane there a little bit. So that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so all right, so I've got that part, okay? Now my hand doesn't look like it's in a blue light at all, so I'm gonna try to see if I can fix that a little bit, okay? So we changed the adjustment layer on our jellyfish here, and we changed that to a linear light. Let's go up here to our blending layer on this, and I'm gonna see if I can adjust this one as well. Again, I'm gonna use a mask. I'm gonna go ahead and hold down my command key, and I'm gonna click on this, so I can load the selection for that. Then I'll go to layer. I'll do in a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to make a, what are we doing here? I'm going to do brightness contrast here. We're going to try and make it a little darker. It doesn't quite look right. So what do I want to call it? Brightness contrast, groovy. That's going to make a new layer mask, a new adjustment layer here. And again, we control that over here. Okay. I am going to take this guy and turn the brightness down because I want it to look a little bit darker, and I'm going to do it to about -77. That looks pretty good. Then I'll take this one. I'm going to take the contrast. I'm going to take it up to let's say +77. So that looks better. It looks a little bit more high contrast, but I still don't quite have that blue kind of area. Okay, so let's try to do this. What if I made a copy of this and put it above that gradient and let that blend in there with there? Okay, so if I go in here and I just drag it up there, well, then I lose the one behind it. It's not exactly doing what I want it to do there. So I'm going to do Command Z, okay? I can make a copy of this layer just as it is, okay? Now I can go to the layer and I can go to duplicate layer. Now it doesn't have the quick key there. I don't know why, but it is Command J, so that's usually what I do. I go ahead and I'm going to copy this layer. I'll click here and I'll say Command J will make me a duplicate. I'm going to drag that all the way to the top, okay? Now I can't see what's going on there, so we're going to take that and we're going to take it and put it to what do I got here? That's hard light. There's the vivid light, linear light. Kind of, I like linear light there. But I think that vivid light is kind of what we're going to do, but we're going to turn it down to about 50%. And then I get those kind of blues that are going to go over top of my hand there like that, okay? And I'm going to call that done, like that. So that is that. You can see we used multiple masks in multiple ways so that we blended this together and did some adjustments on there, okay? Make sure you save your progress, turn in a screenshot in a JPEG. Remember that I need to see these layers in there, and then you will be done. All right. Thanks, everybody. Everybody stay creative, and I'll talk to you soon.